recording now. So this is what the Microsoft Excel looks like. You have Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet editor, literally like your text editor, your notepad on your PC. It's also an editor, but spreadsheet. What they mean by spreadsheet is something that is two-dimensional, that it has an X and Y axis. So X being horizontal, Y being vertical, right? And by the time you open your Microsoft Excel, this is what you see. You do have your name of the Excel workbook. So this particular file you see is a workbook. Sorry, please. This particular file you see is a workbook. So automatically it gives it a name, book one. Now the reason why it does that is there is no file you'll be able to launch unless you give it a name. So they found out that because it is software or is an editor, if you open it, they will just give it a generic name, which is why you see book one. And you can't have a workbook without a worksheet. It's not possible. Let me see, if I delete this, it's not possible. A workbook must contain at least one visible worksheet. So you can't have a workbook without a worksheet. So let me give you a graphical representation of that. Sorry, hold on. I'm going to open my Word document. Sorry, it's coming up. So you literally cannot have a workbook without a worksheet. It's not possible. Like never in history. So sorry, please just. So I just want to give you a graphical representation because in the coming months you would understand why this is. So you have your workbook and you have your worksheet. And before it, you have your directory. You know what your directory is, right? Who can tell me what a directory is? Can somebody volunteer to tell us what they understand by a directory? Please, it's also an interactive class. I will appreciate if I'm not the only one speaking. And most likely, I might not move on if you guys are not talking. So, can you guys hear me?
For me, I really don't know what it means, but if I feel like describe it,
Sorry?
you said directory, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if I could say maybe something like something that gives um an instruction, or I don't know,
Okay, so who wants to
or
try
a
again?
lead into something. Yeah.
Who wants to try?
My understanding, it's more like a book that gives individual files.
Okay. Abraham, do you want to go?
You've said it now. Directory is more of a folder, or how do I put it? A location where you can save your files or save your works.
Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
That's an interesting explanation of what a directory is. So a directory is where a file where you can is a folder where you can save any of your files, be it picture, videos. So like on your if you go to your document now, your Word doc, your any of your folder, all of these, your desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, like that. All of these are called directories because you save them there. You save informations there usually. So the same way a workbook. So this document now or this particular Excel file is saved in a temporary folder that is inside your operating system, pending when you are interested in saving it into an actual folder or directory. So it's basically a folder. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So this is the way it works. And please put this into a mental note somewhere or a physical note because you see this stuff, you would come to understand its important pretty soon. I'm going to share this with you guys. Basically, this is how Microsoft Excel works. And so, in the Microsoft Excel, you can see different icons, different things, and these are what you call your ribbon. Literally, your home, insert, page layout, formulas, data review, like that. These are what you call your ribbon. You might not see this developer in your own is because you need to activate this particular ribbon. It's not really important for you at the moment, but basically these are your ribbon, and each inside this ribbon you have um, different icons for different things. Yeah, so a lot of times what is most important for us um, is the home page and I think data. These are really what is most important. We use this constantly for some weird reason. For some weird reason. And the funny thing is that you see this formula bar, we use it a lot, but we don't have to come to the formula ribbon before we do anything. They are shortcuts to call any formulas here. And so for the person that does data entry, your column in Excel is known as it's a column. Um, it's represented by the alphabets in the alphabet table. I think it also is. I think it's either 3 or 4 figures. So you can see alphabet up to X, Y, Z. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it spans across A, B, C to Z. After Z is A, B, A, C, like that. It span across A to Z, right? Am I hearing somebody? Please mute your. Do mute your. If you're unmuted, please just mute your mic. So when it's done with A to Z, it will now start A, B, AC, like that until AZ. Then it will continue BA, BB until BZ, and it will start C until CZ, CA, like that, CB, CZ, until ZA, ZZ. Then it will now start AA, B, and so on and so forth. I think it has 3 alphabets, if I'm not mistaken. You can see what I'm saying, but let's go to the end of. Yeah, so it's 3 alphabets, which is just weird. So you have a lot of columns to do a lot of things, to do a lot of entries. And you have your rows, and they are represented by numbers. So for instance, each of these particular box you see here is called a cell, and it has a representation. So like this now is in column D and what? And row 2. So you call this cell what? D2. Does that make sense? Same thing here. This is in column E, row 5. So you see what? E5. How would you, let's in the event we want to confirm that this is actually E5, we can do what they call cell referencing, and which is to set a formula in another cell to give us the value in a particular cell. For instance, I want to set a formula here, and I want to say whatever this cell is, give me, output it for me in this particular cell J5. So I can just say equal to and refer to that particular cell. You can see once I refer to that particular cell, what did he say? E5. Now it's going to print out E5 because E5 is what is here. So if I say, sorry, Abraham, I'm misspelling your name. Abraham. It's going to output Abraham for me. But if you look at the formula bar here, which is up here, you can see it's saying equal to E5. So it is making a reference to what? This cell here. So this is just to confirm that this cell is called cell E5. Any questions before we continue? Or you guys understand? You can react if you understand, or if you have a question, raise your hand.
Please explain it again. I didn't get it very well.
So what is it don't you get? What didn't you get?
I was a bit lost. I was trying to attend to Folakemi because she's chatting me up, so I didn't get all you said.
Oh, okay.
But I got the part where you said I got the cells. I know that the boxes are cells. So you were trying to relate E5 to J5 or something like that.
So I was
So, but
trying
you
to
use the
confirm.
formula.
I was trying to confirm that this cell here is called cell E5. You understand? And I now did what they call cell referencing. How do you do cell referencing? You just say equal to, and you just click on that particular cell you want to reference to. So whatever value this cell has, it's going to give you on the particular cell you are referencing from. You get? But we're trying to confirm that this cell is actually called cell what? E5. And from the formula bar here, up here, you can see that it is actually E5. So it's just a confirmation test, basically. So that is cell referencing for you, and naming your or identifying your cell. Now, each time I click on somewhere, you can see that there's a green box attached to the particular cell. So this particular, anywhere, anytime a cell is green, that particular cell is called an active cell. If they say go to your active cell, know that it is where the cell is having this green outline around it. What else? Okay, so on the home ribbon, you have your format. You have your format in terms of your font. So currently my font is in what? Century Gothic. You can come here and change it if you want to. You have your font size, which is a way of either increasing it or reducing it. You can make it bold, italics, and you can underline. You can put like a line around this particular cell by just clicking here and just going to putting a border, right? And you see it would create a border around it. Now you'll be wondering, why would you need to create a border around this guy here, this cell? After all, there are all of these lines. Why this is important is because you see these lines here, they are called grids. All these lines, you are seeing them, they are called grids. And the reason why they put it there is so that for you as a user to be able to visually see, right? If I want to remove this grid line, I can do that. I will just go to view and remove grid line. You can see everything is looking white as day. You understand? So it's the reason why it's important that you need
Come again.
sorry.
Come again from grid line.
Okay. I was showing you guys why putting a border on your cell or a group of cells is important. And that is because these lines you see here, right? It's a way for you to easily identify which particular cell you are on. For instance, this particular cell, you can see is on G and it's on 5. So you can easily visualize it with your eyes. However, the grid line is just to help you easily visualize. The border in itself, why it is important is, in the reality, there's this place you see is empty, literally, but they just put this grid line to be able to enable you visualize it. Okay, this is where my cell is. Now, in order to remove this line, all I just need to go to is the ribbon view and remove, uncheck this grid line, and you can see it's blank as day. But you can see that this my border that I put here now has now helped me, easily visualize it where I think the cell is in this particular spreadsheet. So in other words, I can literally just do like this, highlight a particular range of cells and just put a border around it. You can see it still gives me the feel of that grid line, but this is actually a border around the cell. Does that make sense? Talking about a range of cell, I'm going to go back to my grid line and check it back. If I select more than one cell, right, I have selected a range of cell. If I select more than one cell, I'm now selecting a range of cell. So I've literally selected from what? E5 to what? J5. In order to better understand that context, if you want to, okay, I don't think I'll discuss about that now, but I just want you to know that, so I'm trying to make you understand the terminologies in use of Microsoft Excel. So you can say, Abraham, please highlight a range of cells from I5 to O10. That would be like this. This would be I5 to what? O10. This is the beginning. This is where it ends. O10. You can see O here, and where is 10? You can see 10 here. So I5 to O10. It's going to highlight I5, J5 like that to O5. So if I say I5 to J10, it includes every other cell that is here. So this is what you call a range of cell. Does that make sense? What else do I want to talk about? Oh, true. And there is our cell painter, and we have our font color. I imagine you guys know how to use this. So you can change your font color to red, and you can change the cell in which the value is to yellow if you want, or let's say black if you want. This just look weird. Yeah, so this is your alignment. So if you want to right now, this is in bottom alignment. What that means is, I'm going to show you something. So this is in bottom alignment, but bottom, this is actually bottom left for some weird reason. For some weird reason, it's in bottom left. And you can see, if I click on the middle, is on left but middle, and left but what? Top, which is literally here. And this is, so this one goes from up to down. This one goes from left to right. You guys can see that, right? And so if I want to put Abraham as a value in the middle, I'll just put middle here. It goes to the middle downwards, and middle here to the center. So top to bottom, left to right. Does that make sense? Hello?
So, sir.
Sorry?
Yeah, it makes sense. We are listening to you.
Oh, okay,
So,
cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Please ask your question.
So, can you also do this left to right of to a single cell?
Sorry?
Can you do it to like it's an individual cell, or like when you or just on the range of cells?
You can do it on any individual cell. Let me just expand this for you.
Okay.
And you see, this is the individual cell, right? Is this not a cell? This is D2 as a cell. Is that not? So you can do it. Watch what happens.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can actually do it. And let's say, let me undo this. Let's say you want to format this spreadsheet, your sheet 1, your worksheet 1, and you have these things plenty like this, and you don't like it the way it is. You want to make sure that they occupy the smallest possible space for video. Like this is not visually pleasing, right? This is not visually pleasing. And maybe you will say, okay, for me to reduce this, you come, you drag this guy like this, and you start maybe something like this. And this is uneven compared to how this is being arranged. And you would say, okay, I'm going to drag this guy like this. This looks still uneven compared to this column and this other column. Now, there is a way you can automatically do that. All you just need to do is you click on this. You see this in between the row and the column. There is like a small triangle here. You just click there. It's going to automatically highlight all the rows and columns. And all you just need to do is just to come to your, say for instance, you want to align the column, right? You want to bring it closer. Everything without having to do it one after the other. You just take this, your cursor button, as it's thick, white, and cross. You just keep going until when you get to any of this line. You can use any of this line until when it is thin, dark, cross. Then you just double click, and you can see automatically it reduced cell column D, column E, column I, and column J automatically. And then you can do the same thing for your rows. Anywhere in your row, you make sure that the cursor changes to black and thin cross. Now, but for it to do that, you have to be in between the either the row or the column, which is where this line is. So you can just and double click. So you can see automatically it has formatted it for me in a more visually pleasing way without me having to do that manually one by one. Does that make sense? Any question? Ask question. No.
So does this just format the highlighted?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Like when you want to arrange this, right? Does it only arrange? Maybe I want to just arrange from cell L, and then if I highlight those cells and try to format it, it only does for those cells, right?
I didn't get your question. I literally cannot hear you clearly.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my question is right that during the formatting process, right? Does it format the whole cells, or it just formats like the highlighted cells you want to work on at that moment?
I highlighted the whole sheet, so it's going to apply this.
Okay,
I
okay,
highlighted the whole sheet. That's the goal.
yeah,
It's going to do for everything.
yeah. So it just depends on the cells you highlighted, then that's what it's gonna.
So if I wanted to highlight certain cells, I can just highlight it. But the problem with this is it's going to, if I click from column C to column P, for instance, it's only whatever formatting I want to do to it. If I want to arrange the cells, it's only going to do for C to P and column wise. It's going to arrange it column wise. Does that make sense? It's going to arrange it column wise, not row wise. So it's gonna arrange it column wise. I will have to select these guys to arrange it row wise. What else? Any question before we move? So basically, this is your alignment. What text wrap does is if you have Abraham, Jessica, let's see, Khadija are currently, hold on, attending a data analytics session. So I typed this, right? And when I did that, you can see that whatever it is I typed has, okay, I did cell referencing somewhere. Just hold on. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. You can see that because I have typed beyond, it looks like I've typed beyond the limit of this cell. It's extending to other cells in such a way that it's going to cause me confusion, right? It looks like I typed from cell E5 to what? K5. But in the reality, everything I typed here is what? E5. So you can either expand it, right? And it will just look weird. Or, hold on. You can leave it as it is and you just click on your text wrap. What it will do, it's going to wrap this text aesthetically within this particular cell in such a way that it's going to automatically adjust this cell by width or by height. So watch what happens. You can see it as, by default, it will highlight it by height. So if you so want, you can then adjust it by width and you are good. What else? Yeah. So this is for the alignment. Of course, this number is a number formatting. We have the dollar, or you can change currency. So you use this mainly for calculation purposes, numbers, basically number, time, text. So say for instance, I want to write your phone number. Somebody should give me their phone number. What's your phone number? Somebody should just tell me their phone number.
06
06
84
84
17
17
330.
330. Okay, good. What do you think it will be the outcome of this cell? So you can see it excluded the 0, right? Is that not?
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you don't want that.
Because I noticed this particular challenge.
Yeah,
So, hello?
I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
noticed this particular challenge. Yeah, when I'm inputting data in different cells, and if I have a column where I'm supposed to input phone numbers, when I started using it, if I put 080 like that, sometimes it will remove it. Sometimes if there's +234, it will now be giving me a formula. That was initially when I started. So the only way I could just do it was I had to start removing. I had to give a space after the first three figures. I don't know, but I noticed that. So, but I was also waiting to see what you're going to do. But that was the only solution I could get. So once I removed that plus,
Oh, it
it does
has
not
turned
give me
into
a formula
formula.
again. Formula, yes, like this formula now.
Okay, so let me show you a trick. If you want to enter phone number, let's say I call this phone number as my column header, right? I want this to be my column header. Let's just say name. So let's get your name, Abraham. What? Your surname,
Okay, EME.
EME. We have Jessica. What? Waiting for your surname.
ONWU KIEK
ONWU.
WU
Then we have
KI
Khadija. What?
Sanusi.
Sanusi. And let's just say your phone number is we already know Jessica's number. I'm going to give you this phone number here. And before you do that, before you enter, right, what you can do is to highlight this cell, the whole of this cell, right? You go to your numbers format, general, convert it to text. So you can see text, phone number. So if you convert it to text, whatever you type in now is automatically going to come out the way it is. So she said 06 8417 You can see it now, right? Plus 234 8065382007. Can you see it now coming in the way you would ordinarily want it?
Yes.
You can see it now, right?
Yeah, I can see it now. I now get it.
So you convert it to text. Now, if you want to see your everything that is in this particular place, there's a formula there's a shortcut for it. You just control then 1. literally control 1. It's going to bring out what the numbers formatting in this particular place here. So you can actually general number text. Now, to tell you that it's a text format, you usually see it weird. Numbers is to the right, text is to the left usually, for some weird reason. So if I say, let me just call one number, you see it go to the right. But because this is a number, I'm going to type, now this cell has been formatted to a text. I'll still type the same thing. Where do you think it's going to go to? It will just stay in the left. So it's a way to even know that a number is having a problem. By the time you type it, it refuses to go to the left. It's usually a sign that something is wrong somewhere with the formatting. I don't know if that makes sense. When you are actually trying to deal with a lot of data and you are seeing that this number is not moving the way you want it to move, it's a sign that it's a formatting issue. Let's say I put, actually what I want is to put 330,000 with a comma. It's formatted it for me well, but I actually want to put a comma. Oh, so I think 2021 automatically helps you to, is intuitive. They've improved in the Microsoft version that it auto-correct it for you. But sometimes, if you put a comma here, for instance, it stays as a comma. If I want to convert this back to a number, I'll just say Control 1 and maybe go to number. Let's see what's going to happen. So you can see it as still a text. It's actually supposed to, because if I say this multiplied by 2, for instance, it's going to give me an error for some weird reason. Oh, it's not even going to work self because these cells has already been formatted to text. So I'll say this multiplied by 2 is going to, it works. That's weird. And it's actually not supposed to, but that's really weird. I guess Excel 2021 has really improved. Ordinarily, before it will not even answer you because it assumes that it's a text and it's going to take that form as a text and it's going to give you an error. So that's the way to actually treat phone numbers if you are trying to do entry, or you just do highlight it and you can either click this drop down and go to text, click on it and you are good. This one too, if you want to actually bring it back, all you just need to do is just to go to numbers and it will just highlight it out for you. It's just that you remove the dot, so you can click on numbers, but numbers will format it for you in decimal. And so you this is a way to either reduce or increase or reduce your decimal. And so because you want maybe plus, for instance, is the reason why you actually convert this from a number to a text, so that you want to maintain that plus or you want to maintain that 0. The reason why it doesn't allow 0 in front of it is that there's no number like a number 1 to infinity as 0 then 1. In the reality, 0, 1 is actually 1. So it does that auto correction for you. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not talking to myself.
No. It makes a whole lot of sense.
Jessica, I'm not talking to myself. I'm not making too much noise. Khadija, I'm not.
No. Yes, it's well explained.
Okay, good.
Okay, sorry. Before you move on, sir.
Okay.
When you highlight a particular column and you go to let's say for that phone number, and then you want to change it to text, there are other options there. Like my own is showing, like when I scroll now, I'm seeing text. The last one is text. I'm seeing scientific phone number. I'm seeing fraction phone number.
No, the phone number is the first It's because this is the first, the thing that is written on, how would I say? This is the column header. So if I click here,
Mm-hmm.
I see name, 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 name.
Mm.
Because this is the column header, this is the title.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? If I click here, what do you think is going
Okay.
to show me?
I
It's going to
think
show
it's
me
first of
this
all show your
number.
numbers.
It will show me this
Mm.
number up there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's showing me what the first cell should look like. Because this is a text, it doesn't format it, but because now this is a number, right? You can see the different formats.
Yeah.
Can you see it? In currency,
Mm.
the default is dollar, and percentage is this percent. You can see the fraction of it. You can see the scientific representation, and you can see the text, how it's going to look like in text. So if I click on this now, you can see.
Yeah.
So which was what it was showing me here. I'll just go to number, or I'll just go to no specific format. Oh, let me just go to numbers so that I can bring it back and just reduce the decimals. What else? And you can actually do so control 1, or if you want to have access to this particular format cell, by the time you click here, by the end you go to more number formats. So which is the shortcut control 1, it will just bring out the format cell. There is custom, but we'll talk about that hopefully in the future. I really don't want bringing these because I don't want it to confuse anybody. You can actually customize how your cell looks like, how you want the value in your cell to look like. But I don't think it's within the scope of what we intend to do today. So another part of the home ribbon that is most important is this conditional formatting is really, really important. And the reason why this is the conditional formatting, what it does is it colors the cell itself, each of these cells, to make it visually easy, to make you easily identify things. I don't know if you get. So let's talk about let's say account balance. I want to catch funny and say account balance, so that you guys don't think I'm biased. Let me just put my name. I'm gonna put my name here, and let's say I have 20K in my account. Abraham is a rich man. Let's put 10 million in his account. Jessica is also in Yankee. Let's say she has like 100 M in her account. And Edija is a businesswoman. Let's put 30 M in her own account. So if I want to format this, so this account balance, right? So you are talking about what? Account balance usually is money, right? You are supposed to be seeing there. Please respond to me if you are following.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Now you can see that automatically when I put the comma, it helped me format it visually. But on the formula bar, which is here, you can see it's just 1000 like that. Now, but this 30 million here is not formatted in tens or in hundreds, right? So is this 20,000. Now there are two ways for me to do that. If I want to change the format of this guy, there are two ways. I can either select here and come to this comma here and click, and it's going to put the comma sign. But the funny thing is that it's going to add 0 zeros. I don't want that because this first two doesn't have the kobo. Well, I can just use just to reduce it. That is one way. The second way is to copy the format of this guy here, these guys here, and do what they call, I'll paint it. So like I'll do what they call a format painting. You understand? I'll copy the format here and paint it on these guys. So why? So that it can take this, the format of this cell. So in order for me to do it is to highlight the cell I want to copy the format from. I see this format painter here in your home ribbon here. You click on it. Once I click on it, you see that the active cell from rectangular, it will turn to like a dashed rectangular cell, and you can see it moving. It shows that it's active. What I can now do is to click on the first one, and you can see it has copied the format of this guy and pasted it for me here. And I'll repeat the same process and do it on the 20,000. Now let me go back. You can do it. That's one way. The other way is to click on it and highlight the both of them, and it does that. Let's say the third way will just be click on where I want to format, where I want to copy the format from, double click on this. So you click once, the back, then now you double click on it. So if you double click on it, you can now click one after the other. Does that make sense? So there are three ways to actually copy a format from one cell to the other. So sometimes you don't want to format everything. Sometimes you want to just format maybe just some few cells in an array of cells. So in order for you not to have to do the post process every other time, I'll just come here, click, I'll apply, I'll come here again, click and apply. I'll come here, click and apply. You can click it multiple times and it's going to you can double click on the format painter twice. So you click on it first twice, and you can then highlight the cells you want to format. Does that make sense? Hello guys.
Yes, sir.
Good. So that's about the home page. What else? Oh yeah, talking about the conditional formatting. Now I have an account balance and I want to check who is the brokest amongst all of us. Ordinarily it looks like it's me, right? And that's because these numbers are not plenty, right? Imagine that these numbers are very plenty. Just imagine that these numbers are very plenty. So we now have so much numbers now. And let's just, you can cook up some names, but let me see. Let me cook up some names. Okay, I can see some names. Manuel Stephen. Sorry, please. Just trying to enter some names. Gloria. I'm copying this name from one of my lists like that. Okay, so let's see. I would say Ayodele, Martin, Peter, can see Frank or Henry. Oh, sorry, don't mind me. Frank. Let's just say we have up to this number of names, right? Now, for me to start looking at the guys with the least amount of money, it's now a lot of work, is that not? You have to start looking. You have to start looking list by list. You can then decide to say, okay, I want to check whose bank account balance is less than less than 5 figure or less than 6 figure. Less than 6 figure is what? 100,000, right? Hello, can you guys hear me? Am I talking to myself?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, good. So less than 6 figures is 100, less than 100,000, right? 6 figures is 100,000. They call it 6 figures because it literally has 6 figures. So I want to check guys that are less than 6 figures, or yeah, just people that are less than 6 figures. I can do that using visuals, and how that come to play is to combine visualization and mathematics, and conditional formatting is well known for that. Now I will just come to my conditional formatting and see highlight cell rules. So you can now see the cell rules: greater than, less than, between, equal to, text contain, date occurring, duplicate values. Now what am I looking for? I want to look for people's bank account balance that are less than what? 100,000. Is that not? Less than is where I'll go to. Less than 100,000. You can see format cell that are less than what? Then you now enter 100,000. Can you now see? And let's say with light red field with dark red text. And maybe that's not what you want. You just want to format the text to be red. That's the value. You can further click on this drop down, go to custom format. A prompt is going to open. What do you want to want to format the font, right? We want it to be bold. Color, we want it to be red. Maybe that's what we want. Or is this red? This looks it looks orange, or is it red? Okay, it just looks red. That's not red. I think this is red. Hold on. Aha, this should be red. Oh, it's just weird. Let me go and get the color of red. Let's see. Okay, just don't mind me. Red color in RGB value. No, let's do in hex. It's going to give me the actual hex value for red. Okay, that's interesting. I'll come back here and just put the hex value here, paste, and okay. And you can see, right? So the good thing with this is anytime somebody's account balance is now, let's say Jessica, now you came back to Nigeria, you bought a house, you bought some Lamborghini and whatnot, and you want to just come and blow your money and go back and go and make more money. And let's say your balance on your bank account is now 99. Let's say 99,900 naira. Can you now see that it automatically formats it to what? Red. Why? We said we are looking for bank accounts that are less than what? 6 figures. So it does this automatically for you. Does that make sense? You don't need to come and start coloring it again. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So let's say we now want to, for people who have more than 100,000 and above, we want the cells to highlight green. Green is usually like a good sign. You can still come and highlight this particular column, or you can just highlight a group of cells or a cell range, and let's, for just intended purpose, and let me do this. I'll say conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. I want to say greater than, right?
Greater than.
So it will be greater than what? What's it going to be greater than?
100.
100,000.
Mathematically, that is wrong. So I said 6 figures, 100,000 and above. So it has to include 100,000. But let me put 100 based on what you guys said. I think that's 100,000, right? This is 100,000. And let's say I want it to just be green text. I'll come to custom format. Is the font right? I'll go to color, automatic. I want this green. Oh, please mute your mic unless when you want to talk. Click on OK. Now, you might not notice anything, right? But imagine, let's say, Abraham has done the same thing. It's December. He went to go and blow some money back in his hometown, and he now has $100, 100,000 naira. He has blowed 9 million. He has blowed 9,900,000, and he now has 100,000. What do you think is going to happen here? So you can see it didn't highlight it either green or red. That's because the first condition is less than 100,000. Less than 100,000 means 100,000. It means everything below 100,000 except 100,000, right? Greater than 100,000 means everything above 100,000 except 100,000. So you have created a conditional formatting and left 100,000 naira out of the equation. Now we said anything below 6 figure. Anything below 6 figure is what? 99,999 is below 100,000. Is that not? But 6 figures above, it means 100,000 and above. So that's why I said mathematically that is wrong. Let's assume we want to correct it. Haven't found out that what we did was wrong. We'll come to that same conditional formatting. Now you don't go to highlight cell rules because you've already done the rules. You made a mistake, you just want to correct it. You come to manage rules. Oh, manage rules. So we said greater than 100,000, make it green. You either double click or you click on edit rules. So, but you have to select which rule you are editing. Edit rules. We say cell value greater than what? 100,000. What we want to say is cell value greater than what? 99,000 900 naira, and we can even say dot 99 self, just so that we can exhaust the kobo, and click on OK, click on apply, and you can see that now my 100,000 is green. Now if I now come to this place, maybe Khadija did the same thing and she now have 99,999 naira dot 99 kobo, it will still show me red. Is that not? So you can see how you use conditional formatting to easily highlight. So which one was better, when there was nothing and now when there is colors? Which one looks visually pleasing and it makes it easy to identify certain trends? Which one looks better? Again,
The colored ones.
not okay, good. Jessica, do you agree? Khadija, do you agree?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you can see how conditional formatting, you didn't write any formula, it has made your life very easy. Yeah. So the next thing I also want to do is to use conditional formatting to test something. Let's say in this name, somebody made a mistake and did multiple entries. Let's see. Somebody just made some weird mistake and added multiple entries. And you are trying to figure out how many entries are duplicates, right? You can highlight this range from here to here, or you can highlight the complete column. You go to conditional formatting, highlight cell values, and you go to duplicate value. So you can see automatically by the time you click on duplicate values, it's already showing us what it looks like. Like I said, sometimes you can leave it like this, or you can come to format. Look at, okay, let's test other, you can see. So one of the things I should let you know is, and it's really important that you know that, is as somebody that is very interested in data, you have to be very, very curious. Do you understand? Be very, very curious. What was going to happen if I click on this cell? If I click on this column, what is going to happen? I'm interested in knowing what's going to happen. I don't know if you get. So you have to be very, very curious. Don't be afraid to try, please. It's really important. Don't be afraid to try. Before you ask any question, please think about it, so you don't sound dumb and you look weird. Do you get? Think about it. Don't be afraid to try, in such a way that by the time you try, you say, how do you do this? Because I tried doing this and it did not work. Does that make sense? No.
Yeah, it does.
Good.
It does make sense.
Good. So don't be afraid. Always try as much as possible to be curious enough. So now, how many rules do we have in total for this column and this column? How many rules do we have? We've created how many rules?
Three rules.
Now, how many is in mind you, the rules I created here does not apply to this place. Just so you know. Just so you know, the rules that I apply here is just one. How do I know? I'll go to conditional formatting, highlight my column or my range of cells, right? Conditional formatting, where will I go to? Manage rules. I want to see the number of rules. You can see it just shows me one rule, and what am I looking for? Duplicate value. Now if I come to this particular place here, conditional formatting, manage rules, you can see I have what? 2 rules, right? So in total I have 3 rules in this sheet, but I only have 2 here and 1 here, and it's not on the same place. So if you apply a conditional formatting somewhere, it doesn't necessarily mean you've applied it everywhere. I want you guys to know that. Now, if assuming I want to copy the format of this place to somewhere here, let me do that. Let's say I like the way Abraham has formatted this and has made my life easy. Right? And I want to copy this format here and I want to paste it here. And okay, so Abraham, we have you and Jessica, right? We are going to change it up now to my name. And we'll do that of Khadija. Jessica, is your name and Abraham's name that was in the first place before as duplicate? Is that not?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Yes.
What I can now do is to highlight. I can either highlight everything or highlight one of the cells. Click on what? Format Painter. And apply it to the whole of this range of cells. Can you now see that Khadija Sanusi appeared twice and it has automatically detected it? And my name, Chikoliu appeared twice and it has automatically detected. I didn't need to manually type this stuff. Any questions? Are we going too fast? Are we going too slow?
Sorry, mine is not a question. The network threw me out when you copy the information from column F to column B. I didn't get it because network threw me out. So I did not get it.
Okay.
Please, can you go over it? Let me get how you did it.
For this intended purpose, we are recording, but I'm going to go back. You have network issues, you can watch the recording. Is the reason why I'm doing recording. Sorry, hold on, but I'm just going to go back. Yeah. So I said, I'm saying that, let's say I like the way you did this formatting here. I want to apply the same format somewhere else, right? With people's name. Let's even generate other names. Let me see where I can generate things from. Just hold on. I should see some names somewhere. Okay, yeah. I have some names somewhere here. The rest of the people, are we going too fast? Are we going too slow? Is he okay? Do you understand? Am I speaking so much grammar? I'm not speaking enough grammar. Which one? You guys should talk. Talk, please. You guys understand? Is my network okay? Can you guys hear? Okay, you guys can.
For me, so far so good. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, oh sorry, my PC is slowing down seriously. I need to stop some. I have a lot of file that I opened. Sorry, just hold on. Let me just save this. I'm going to send this to you guys, and we are going to be updating it with time. Let's see. Yeah. My PC is a bit slow today. Okay, let me close some other things. My browser too is taking a lot of space. Just give me a moment, please.